Potatoes rightfully pointing out that we're 2 minutes late. And when I say we, I mostly mean me, because somebody forgot. And apparently probably fell asleep in the shower. And still isn't with us. So I'm now forced to do her job until she arrives here. Of course, by the time she arrives, I'll probably have done everything that is required of her. And then she can just join us and sit back and relax and do nothing, as usual. I might be a bit bitter. That is mostly because I'm not ready to stream yet. Streamvesta literally almost... No, not literally. Literally would be an overstatement. Clinically killed me. I'm clinically still dead, but more so than usual because of Streamvesta. I still can't sleep properly. Oh god, I had a horrible nightmare about leaving a wall unprotected, even though it was my only task. No, seriously, I had a nightmare about this. And no thank you, Potato, this will not be necessary. We're all hoping that Sal will be here within a minute or so. I just need to make sure that everything works while you get to enjoy the lovely images of this cat. Tells me to keep calm. Alright. Do already have an echo. I didn't manage to check while I was waiting for Sal to maybe arrive in time. But also is pointing out that she's rightfully putting on a few dozen layers of clothing just so I don't get a heart attack. Well, we do have house rules. She has to oblige them. If she can't manage her time around them, then it's her own fault. And I'm in my full right to bicker and complain. I forgot if I've checked everything now, so just keep on looking at the cat while I recheck again. Okay, I've checked that. Checked that. I've looked at this lovely graph, which means nothing to you people. Also, it means nothing to me, but, you know. It's nice pointing out a lovely graph. And Potato points out that there's no echo, for which I'm quite thankful. Have I pointed out that I find the ambient noise of a spaceship and or a submarine like this one quite relaxing, so much so that I want to go to bed again. Oh, I've got a radio signal. Hello. Yes, that was very understandable. Thank you for pointing this out. I will read this later, more thoroughly. Now, remind me, what was I doing again? Also, hello Charlie97 and Tammy. I'd like to apologize. Sal unfortunately decided to forget that there's a stream today, probably as an after effect of Streamvesta, so she decided to instead soak a bit in a bathtub. She's hopefully joining us in a few minutes, not leaving me alone. In the meantime, you can remind me what we were doing, because I, again, as previously mentioned, forgot. Also, I can't see chat from over here. Oh yeah, right, that's another thing Sal does, I completely forgot. She reads out the chat so I don't have to. Okay, I was overstating her uselessness at the start. Useless is a bit of a harsh word in this context. But again, I was bitter, probably still am. Streamvesta. What's chat saying? What? Oh yeah, okay, now it makes more sense, but still. Potato's suggesting that we should reduce the hours of Streamvesta streaming so that it starts about an hour before the first one and literally ends an hour after the last one. Only problem with that is, according to the original availability spectrum that we designed for this, Anubis would have only had 2 hours of stream. which is why we originally extended it so far into the future, and also because it's tradition ever since we did it once with the whitelist. Also, apparently we're trying to break our own record and eventually stream for a whole week or something. I'm not ready for that yet. I hear distant cries. Distant cries of somebody who's late.
I'm here.
Yes, those distant cries. Please hurry. I forgot what I was going to do and I need somebody to tell me.
Hello.
Finally.
Seek fluid intake immediately.
Are you with us?
Yeah, I'm with us. You were going to get yourself a drink.
Fine. I don't know why, but for a second there I thought the flaming engine pods of the ship in the picture are animated.
Hello, Tammy.
Hello, Tammy.
Potato.
Hello, Potato.
Hello, Belorso.
Hold on a second, I already said hello to all of these people.
I haven't said hello to anybody yet. Well, except those people. They're the only people I can see on the screen, so I don't know who else is here.
May I point out that while your new headphones are nice, I don't like them.
Welcome aboard, Captain.
Why?
They're too tiny for my large head.
Oh. Mia's got a lot of brains to keep inside that large head.
I've got a lot of what?
Brains?
Oh. Yeah, I'm collecting them. Not sure what to do with them yet.
Seek fluid intake immediately.
They're kinda useless after you're done with the first one.
Vital signs stabilized.
So what was I doing?
Were you upgrading your big submarine so that you could go deeper or something?
I feel like you're not reading out Belorso's prediction.
Belorso says we were abandoning base building in favour of following the story again.
Lovely. So let's abandon the story and focus another 2 hours on base build. Where did I park my ship? PMS Mech.
In the submarine?
Probably. I forgot the name. In my defense, it's been a while. Have I pointed out yet that I haven't fully recovered from Streamvesta yet?
Captain, all systems online.
Potato says, so Sal, what do you think of Skater Cell in today's thumbnail filler? Skater Cell. Mia showed that to me, and I was saying that the only I think it's quite realistic. Mia looked at it and said, I don't think it's very realistic, and I said, yeah, it is, but maybe more like when I was 14. But I could never ever skate with inline skates. I couldn't ice skate either, but like roller skates where you got the wheels on the four corners, I was really good on them. And I used to hang on to the bumper on a car and like the fender for Americans. And
I was suggesting that she should have a few more protective gear equipment things, but apparently she doesn't wear these.
No, I've got the scars to show for it as well.
So, have you fully recovered from Streamvesta yet?
I am a bit recovered from Streamvesta.
Oh, my inventory is full. Well, good for you, because I am not.
I slept till about 5 PM today, so Potato says he has, kinda.
How did he manage it? Tell us his secrets.
I think, Mia, you did more hours than anyone else, didn't you?
I am not sure anymore. Oh no. I depleted one of my reactor rods.
Oh.
I wish I would have a visual signal for that on the actual thing. Now, where was I again? Right,
And
I was
Xeron says hello. Hello, Xeron.
Hello, Xeron. Have you made progress with your game yet? You know, tardiness is not good if you want to get a game out.
What kind of game are you developing?
It's a massive multiplayer online role-playing game. We had a very in-depth discussion about it with Boris during his streams when you were, I believe, asleep. I forgot what I was doing again. I lost my mind during that stream affair over the new year.
Well, I suggest you now look for uraniumonite or whatever it is that you need to get your reactor up and running
So
again.
I've got lithium.
Bill also says, that's Sal. What with the new year and all, I have a question about these streams. Same procedure as last year, Miss Sally. Same procedure. What? What are you laughing at me?
Dinner for one. You wouldn't know.
What?
Dinner for one. I've tried to introduce you to it a few years ago already, but apparently you forgot. New Year's Eve tradition in Germany.
Yeah.
Having dinner for one.
Yeah, but he says a question about these streams. Same procedure as last year.
Well, yes, the question is, it's the same procedure as last year. Do we carry on with these like we did last year? That's the implication, but I do believe it's more of a reference to the dinner for one. Where was I?
Okay.
I've got a uraniite, but I need 2 more for a reactor rod. I've got a purple tablet, but I forgot what I was using it for. I'll just leave it there. Now, what did I need to upgrade my thing?
And Xeron says, Miss Sally, do you have any questions about my MMO? Yeah, I know absolutely nothing about it. I saw some chat so I knew that you were around during the Streamvesta, but I missed the bit about the game that you're developing.
Yeah, Minty actually was wondering about the progress of your MMORPG.
Ah.
I mean, alright, by the time he was wondering, merely a day had passed, but still,
Yeah, but
he
I'm
seemed
interested.
to be hooked.
Beloso says, at Sal, I didn't really have any questions, just wanted to give my fellow German a little chuckle.
Did I install a Cyclops Depth Module Mark 1? Probably yes.
It worked.
Did I upgraded it to a Mark 2? Where is it? Did I upgrade that to Mark 2? Because I probably need that to do story bits.
And Xeron says, feel free to ask, I don't mind. Well, I suppose my first question is what's the general theme or
You should ask for an elevator page.
backstory or... Beloso says, you upgraded that module at least once last time.
Cyclops Engine Efficiency, Cyclops Depth Module Mark 2. Right, I did that. Good thing somebody pointed it out to me. Oh no, where did I place my fire extinguisher so I can replace... Ooh, I wanted to have a fire extinguisher module. What did I need for that? Advanced wiring kit, aerogel, and crystalline sulfur. I can do this. We've got a lot of titanium in here. And batteries.
Anime themed, unrealistic.
How many batteries does the recharger on the base take?
3.
3?
I think.
No, not power cells, batteries.
Oh, don't know.
Hold on. Right. Either it's 4 or it's 6.
No idea.
I'm gonna say it's 4. Right. Got an unreasonable amount of fire extinguishers around here. Where do I find all of these?
And Charlie, hello Charlie, asks Zeron, what do you mean with unrealistic?
I should hang up my Aurora poster somewhere.
And Potato's offering his services to Zeron. Bell also says I cannot believe that an English comedy piece is more popular in Germany than it is in England. Sal, go watch Dinner for One.
That actually surprised me too the first time I learned about it. Literally nobody I was talking about it here knew what it was.
No, I don't think anybody... I'd never heard of it before. And I don't know anybody else who's heard of it.
All systems online. Welcome aboard, Captain. Calorie intake recommended.
Couldn't have told me that a few seconds earlier, so could
Well,
have
you
eaten
do
a few
have a visual
potatoes?
indicator on your
I
screen.
do, but I need the reminder because otherwise I wouldn't eat. I've got more important things to do, like sorting in all of this.
Kind of dripping.
What?
I'm dripping.
Oh, you are?
Yeah.
I was worried for a moment.
Did you tell everybody why I was late?
Yes. So I've got 2 crystalline sulfur, that's good. I need some of that for aerogel. I've got... Oh yeah, I got everything together for the thing last time. Why didn't you remind me?
Oh, because I've forgotten. And Zeron says each race has its own story. And Solo Spirit says, hi folks, Happy New Year! Happy New Year, Solo Spirit!
Hello, Happy New Year. Why wasn't he there when we wished everybody around the world a Happy New Year? Hold on a second, didn't I have a computer chip? I had that in here. Oh, I need gold, and for that I need also gold.
Solo Spirit says that he was here, but not everybody else was.
Fair point. You win this round.
Nice.
I know. Now where is my furniture thing?
Well, also says, over here, every public broadcaster shows Dinner for One at least once on every New Year's Eve since the 1970s. So you can watch it half a dozen times in one evening, but on no other day of the year. Yeah, Mira told me about this, and...
Oh, now you do remember.
Yeah, you told me about it, but I've never seen it, and I've never heard of it until... like, you told me about it.
Perfect. Did I have anything else on me?
Tammy says Dinner for One is on YouTube.
Oh, of course. Almost everything is on YouTube now. Why do I have
we
two
might have
fire
to watch
extinguishers on me? So, Cyclops upgrades. Got everything for that. I wanted a shield. Oh, I do have everything for a shield too. Wow.
So yeah, I wasn't wrong. You were upgrading your big submarine in so that you can go exploring more or doing the story. So did you tell people that you knocked on the bathroom door and said, I'm streaming in 5 minutes?
Basically.
And I went, ah! 5 minutes, I'll be there.
Emergency. Starvation imminent. Seek calorie intake immediately.
Yes, in a moment. Hold on, did I get everything I needed? I've got that. I needed my power cell.
And did you tell everybody that what made it even more complicated was the fact that I had my chair from my computer in the bathroom because it's got high arms on it and I could prop up the iPad and watch YouTube videos.
No, I did not go into your weird bathroom habit details, and I saw no point, I still see no point in you outlining this now.
All systems online.
But feel free to go on.
So I might have made Mira a bit late. Were you late?
Yes, I was.
My fault. I own up to it. Giles says weird Mia fetish. Hi Giles, happy New Year.
Hello, what?
A weird Mia fetish. Is that what, Dinner for One?
I hope not.
Or wanting a chair to sit at the computer? Or, Giles, do you have a weird Mia fetish?
Oh god, no, I hope not.
You've only got 6 hunger left, Mia.
Yes, I know. I'm on the boat, ready to eat some potatoes.
Vital signs stabilizing.
See, it's all good now.
Yep. Giles says, no, I think Xeron has.
Did Zero explain what he means by alternative? I might have...
By unrealistic?
Yes,
yes.
that was...
What I mean by unrealistic is that your created character can wear any race's armour, and that could be unrealistic. Which, yeah, I can see. Because that was something that I have noticed in the past when you get something like a really tall elf that can wear really small dwarf armour. Don't worry, Xeron, I think Giles is just trolling you.
Ah, perfect. So I got that. Now what was the other thing I wanted
So,
to
Xeron,
do?
what was it that inspired you to create a game? He has this fetish of wanting Mir to desperately invest in his MMORPG. Well,
You
I
saying
would
that
have
as if I'm trying to push money into him already?
and I think it's fairly normal for any game developer to want people to have an interest in the game that they're developing. No, Xeron, don't shut up.
Yeah. Do I need another coffee machine? Probably not.
Don't worry about Giles. He's
I should place down a nuclear waste disposal unit.
he's got an interesting sense of humour, haven't you, Giles?
That's an interesting way to put it.
Mostly harmless. And Zero
I'll
asks
take a
if
photo
I'm
again.
a Star Wars fan. Fan would be a strong word for it. I enjoy Star Wars, but fan... I know I've watched at least 4 of the films, but I couldn't tell you which ones. I enjoyed each and every one of the ones that I watched. I've played... over the years I've played so many Star Wars games. Can never quite remember the lore behind it, but...
Perfect.
When I watch a film, I remember the lore, and then I forget it afterwards. And then Giles says, at least Mia hasn't shown up his naked East German fetish. And Solo Spirit says, we're all gamers here, so we're all interested in new games for sure. Yeah, absolutely. Giles says, isn't the new film just another Jar Jar Binks thing?
Welcome aboard, Captain. All systems online.
And Xeron says, well, Iso and Toram. Neither of those words mean anything to me. Beloso says, by the way, you YouTubers have my eternal thanks for introducing me to yet another addictive game. I just love punting small cars off the road at 120 kilometers per hour. Oh, which game was that?
Take a guess. It's most likely Euro Truck Simulator.
Oh, right. And Belle also says, by the way, she's called Sal. I just called her Miss Sally to make a joke work. Oh, I see. I don't mind being called Miss Sally, though.
I don't understand the joke.
But
I should have taken some...
my
never mind.
my first online name, because I was online in the early days of being online, and
Engine powering up.
because I was in the telecoms industry, and so things like online forums, when they were sort of first in the public domain, were mostly shared amongst other telecoms professionals.
Added flagged. Emergency speed. Warning. Vessel tilting. Excessive noise.
Except for porn, of course, because porn was there first.
Ahead standard.
But there weren't that many people, and in the forums, in the tech forums, the telecoms forums, where I was sort of communicating with other professionals, everybody named themselves after the place where they lived. And at the time I was living in Salford, so I called myself Salford. And then when sort of forums and when having an online name became, or pseudonym became, more and more popular, Salford was just too short. Too many people had it, so I called myself. Oh, and people started shortening Salford to Sal, so I ended up with Salford Sal, which is short for Salford. Sal's AOL name. I don't think I ever had AOL, although I probably did, but I don't remember it. Belle also said it was Euro Truck Simulator. And Zeron says, that's what made me want to make my own MMO. Is that because you're a gamer and you're interested in games? Giles says, every Star Wars fan you meet hated Jar Jar, just called him the comic relief. Charlie says, oh, BMG.
Ahead slow.
Another reference I don't get, I'm afraid. Giles says, does the computer need a sore throat lozenge?
A what now?
A sore throat lozenge. Does the computer on your ship need a sore throat lozenge?
Oh no, he sounds fine.
Belle also quotes me saying porn was there first. Says, lol, I love how that is just a universally accepted truth. Well, it is, because, say, I was in telecoms, and it was fairly well known that we were developing new telecoms products.
Oh no.
I was working for a competitor of British Telecom. And we were always trying to find new ways to sell new products for more money. And the porn industry was absolutely at the cutting edge of new technology. And where you could make the most money and guarantee the most sales if you could find something that would appeal to the porn industry. And then gaming was second. Oh, Elder Scrolls Online. Oh, why didn't I recognise that? And Toraman Online is a mobile anime game. No, I've not heard of that. Giles says the computer on the Cyclops sounds like it has a sore throat. It is very deep, isn't it? Solo Spirit says, I was a little late to getting online. Had to wait for 1990s before I picked up my first modem. A 14.4 baud. And Charlie says it's a game in which you can crash cars with physics. And Ginger Ninja, hello Ginger Ninja, says you seem rather interested in porn. Giles says, are you saying you were into telecommunications porn? I was into making a profit out of telecommunications porn. Because I was into making a profit out of telecommunications, and wherever that lay, I was there. Crazy Potato says, buy our product, get a free trial to Pornhub Premium for 1 year. We weren't the porn makers, we were the telecoms providers to the porn industry. So things like when premium rate phone lines were all a thing, the porn industry was looking to develop into internet porn, but that meant that they would need to be able, things like streaming and stuff like that all were developed first for the porn industry. And Ginger Ninja says, okay, please, can we talk about something else? I'm surprised Mia didn't beat you to that.
Sorry, I'm busy.
Solo Spirit said, okay, please. No, said about the slowest modem ever made. And Zero said, oh, by the way, when you can create your character, you can infuse your character with the elemental crystals. Giles Price says, if YouTube is the rebel fleet, is RedTube the dark side? By RedTube, do you mean YouTube Red?
Integrating new PDA data.
Oh, that's right, Mia. You were terribly infected, weren't you? Why is there a brain on the table? Oh, it's a creature egg.
You. Yes, I was, which is why I'm now returning to the story to find a cure.
Ah.
30 seconds.
Potato says, because 144p boobs was the future back in the days.
Captain, all systems online.
RedTube is YouTube for porn. Yeah, right. I've been out of the industry for a while, so I haven't kept up to date. These days I'm in infrastructure and transportation.
She's literally holding up bridges.
Holding up bridges. Which is an old joke from, I think it was probably off camera as well to make it worse.
Powering up.
When
Ahead slow.
Anubis was made a comment, something about my job, and the way he phrased it made it sound like I was the person who held up the bridge. Because at the time I was working on a project to do with abnormal loads and bridges in Manchester.
Standard.
And Solo Spirit says that adult entertainment and gaming always leads the tech church. Certainly does. Although, as I said, being out of the industry for quite some time, and it may have changed, but I will be surprised. Tell Mary he can hatch that creature egg and it will become his pet.
I'd rather not. I'm gonna put it into my bioreactor.
And Bella also says, literally holding up bridges. No wonder you threw your back out. Giles says, maybe Sal has appeared in the porno to sell telecommunications. No, I was in the development end. Well, I was the head of the product management team. So that meant that we were... It's hard to describe a telecoms product. So something like when you go to BT, like a retail telecoms product would be fiber broadband or ADSL or something like that. Whereas something like streaming is the application. We were always trying to find a way to support new applications that were going to be successful and were going to involve buying lots and lots of data. Solo Spirit says, I think that's walking close to the line there, Giles. Oh, Giles knows where the line is, and he always walks close to it. Bill also says, that made no, that war is literally meant to be your pet. And Giles says, if Mia had a porno name, what would it be? Oh, what was that thing? There was where you determined your porn name by taking the name of your first pet and the name of the street where you grew up, I think it was. And that'd be your porn name.
Oh, God, no.
We'll find out Mia's in a second. I know. My first pet was a budgie, budgerigar, who was given to me for Christmas by an uncle who was big into Happy Days. So the budgie was called Fonzie. And a street where I grew up, well, I moved house an awful lot. Well, not that much. I suppose the street that I lived on most when I was a kid, where I was growing up, was a street called Wolverton. So I'd be Fonzie Wolverton. Now, Mia, what about you?
Napoleon Hammer.
Napoleon Hammer! Oh, fantastic! That really does sound like a porn name. It sounds a bit gay.
I admit I shortened both.
You could imagine it being like gay porn based around sort of the bear community and leather.
Right.
Solo Spirit says Roscoe Edinburgh.
I prefer Potatoes version.
Mavra HM, hello Mavra, says Tippy Thurman. Yes. Mia's porno name is Fully Dressed and Pure of Soul, says Crazy Potato. Says Potato. Solo Spirit says Mia wins.
I like this. This is nice.
Bill also said at Giles not happening, but I missed what it was. Chat scrolled up a bit fast. Zeron says if you choose dark magic and you only use dark element weapons. on his MMO.
What sort of magic spells can you use? I remember a game called Might and Magic 6, and I absolutely...
Remember a game? You never stopped talking about Might and Magic.
Yes, that's because I tried to stream it and then it didn't get through the streamability sensor. Where was I? And so now I can only fondly remember it instead of trying to sell it to you
I thought you were about
guys.
to say fondle then.
I'm not...
Oh, not happening was my thought on Mia's porn name. Napoleon Thunder. No, Napoleon Hammer.
Yes.
Yes. Napoleon Hammer. That's fantastic.
The full one would be Napoleon Bonaparte hammering, and I'm not sure if that's better or worse. Anyway, what was it? Fondly remember, magic was cool, very nice spells. I forgot where I was going with this. So
You were
farewell.
asking about what kinds of spells.
Yeah, I know.
Because
I was
you're
trying
a fan
to
of
tie
Might
the
and Magic.
conversation over until he finished writing these things up.
Yeah.
Sal, look, it's getting spooky down here.
Oh, it is. You're right.
And I can't see anything, and I forgot where I was driving.
Is it F for lights or L for lights? Oh, something's bumping you.
That's just happening at all times, don't worry.
Potato says, one I came across on the internet was you take the first letter of your name and your birthday month, and match it with crude and lusty words. Yes,
That's not
do
as-
go on, Potato.
That's not as easily creative as the pet and street one. I mean, that version requires you to creatively think of a word.
Yeah, that's why I'm not coming up with it quite so fast. It's far easier to rack my memory for what was the first of this and the first of that than it is to think of crude and lusty words off the top of my head. Belosa says Napoleon Bonaparte hammering. Not sure whether I should console or congratulate the girl on the end, on the receiving end of that hammering. You can imagine the strapline of "Your body is my empire."
Can we stop?
Okay.
Thank you. Did we get some updated information about magic users?
I have to give Zero some time to type. Solo Spirit says he S&D might not need any more words. I suppose the thing with me is I have so many different birthdays that I claim, because I've never been one for trusting anything that asks me for my date of birth, so I have several birthdays that I regularly use. This is obviously my real one, but I only use that for official purposes. Then there's the one that I use for freebies, and so like you go to a restaurant and they say, give us your email and tell us your birthday and we'll give you half price meals on your birthday. Well, I always found that inconvenient because my birthday wasn't the time when I wanted the free meals, so I decided that September was far better for that. So I used September as and I chose the 15th of September because that was payday for everybody. So if I wanted to go out for half price meals with like my team or something like that, then more people would be willing to come along and spend my half price deal with me. Oh, what's that? Is that one of those squids? But it's got
Probably.
lights around it.
It's one of those things that ate my first submarine.
Oh.
Do I need to go into silent running already?
So if I go for the 15th of September, which is one of my birthdays, that would make me
He's just trying to get as many
Squealer
birthdays.
King or King Squealer.
What was it? Many birthdays out of the year as humanly possible.
You need one for every month for free meals then. Well, I'd started off on the idea of the 15th of September, and then I sort of spread it about a bit. So things like, I think Twitch thinks my birthday's on the 1st of January. There was sort of several dates, and I started separating them so that they fell into useful categories. So 1st of January is one I use quite a lot. And I never use my real year either. Can't remember what I put on Skype. I probably put 1st of January for Skype as well.
No, you did not, because otherwise you would have shared your birthday with Almond.
Oh, maybe I didn't put any birthday on Skype. If it didn't insist on one, then I wouldn't have. So Bill also is Tasty Tickler. Ah! And Potato is Queen Squirter.
It doesn't sound as fun and imaginative as the other one with your street name and pet name. But what do I know?
Well, I don't know if Mia would want me to tell everybody his birthday, but I'll tell you, his name would be very masterful. Speaking of which, Bell also says at Mia, no, that thing is bigger.
I don't care.
Seek fluid intake.
Potato wants to get out of doing anything in bed by using the phrase, let me draw you like one of my French girls. And Giles, of course, read an innuendo into that. Bell also says, at me, sure, lose another sub then. Or two if you've got the little one docked. Have you got the little one docked?
Also have the little one docked.
Ahead slow.
Does that thing have to be up there right now while I was trying to go there?
Rig for silent running.
Also, I've got an energy shield now, so I'll be fine.
That was a big thing with a lot of lights around it.
Yeah, I can see that. Can I just scurry past it? Oh no, it appeared on the radar. Is it circling in on me?
It might just be passing by.
Ew, what's this? Why is it stuck to my thing? I'll take care of that as soon as I'm done here.
Solo Spirit says, Giles, just remember what Mia is driving right now. And Giles says, how does he know where he's going? Yeah, mate, how do you know?
I do not know where I'm going. I'm just going where the tunnels take me.
Oh, okay. You're in a tunnel.
It feels like I'm in a tunnel.
You're caving.
Oh, fine. Yes, basically.
Seek fluid intake immediately.
Oh,
And Beloso says, at me, yeah, that hammerhead eel thingy is harmless, but Big Mama is not.
you telling me that now that I've been scurrying past it?
He was kind of telling you that before.
Oh, it's too late for that. Oh no.
Vital signs stabilizing.
I think the potato gives you more fluid than the coffee.
What? No. No, it does not. The potato gives me 3, the coffee gives me 4.
Ah.
Why am we drifting? Lava larva. I don't like it sticking to my submarine like this. So somebody's gonna get stabbed in a moment. Should have probably turned silent running off now that we're not really needing it anymore.
Do you think they're damaging your sub by sticking to it?
Let me just read the entry. I scanned it in a moment.
You are the best captain on the planet. I'm not even squidding.
I love that thing. Are you kidding me? I just removed this.
Why don't you read the entry first? Beloso says, that Sal, yes, I was telling him that way early, but someone, I shall not name names, wasn't reading out chat. I'm sorry, chat scrolls past too fast, I can't read everything.
Lava larva, a grub-like species which appears to lack sense of sight and smell, but is able to sense and drain thermal and electrical energy in the environment. 1. Underside suction curb. Ew. Capable of attaching to smooth surfaces and generating high-pressure suction. 2. Torso. Thick scales protect from extreme temperatures. Lacks traditional digestive system. Attracted to energy sources of all kind. Draws energy from its prey to survive. Assessment avoid when piloting powered vehicles.
So it drains your batteries.
Thank goodness. That's exactly what I needed around here. Ah!
What was the R for? I was looking at
28% energy. They
Oh.
drained my entire energy, and I might have just wasted a lot by sticking around in silent running for so long.
Do you have spare power cells?
Not on board.
Oh. So you've used like 3/4 of your power to get here, so you've only got 1/4 of your power to get back.
Fair point, but on the other hand, I'm already at 600 meters depth, so I must be close to the exit.
Oh, okay.
Only problem that's going to face me now is probably a squid. Spider squid.
Taser says, I think it's concerning that you're so hungry and that your vitals are unstable. Giles says he's gone mad. And Mavra says, full batteries. Giles says, numpty.
It's getting really dark now. Again, I don't want to keep that light on out of fear that one of those things sees me.
Beloso says, at me. As of me posting this, you just passed the skeleton of a leviathan that cracked your first sub. Big Mama eats those for breakfast.
Oh, thank heavens. Ugh.
The head standard.
Do you know where I parked my house?
Wasn't it near one of these signals on your screen?
Which one?
I don't know.
Where was that?
Are you ever going to investigate any of those signals? Says Giles. And Zyron's back. Hello, Zyron. Back. Welcome
I
back.
do believe I explored all of the signals currently on screen. I'm currently just using them as waypoints of where to go.
Do I tell him that, Beloso, or is that a
Excessive noise.
Seek fluid intake.
is it a clue or a spoiler? Beloso's telling you where to go when you're ready to start the storyline again.
The head standard.
I assume there's more story down in the lava area because I haven't explored that at all so far.
File detected.
Yeah, so it's not a spoiler.
Fire
just a thing.
detected. Look at this.
Neutralization system active. The head flagged. Emergency speed.
Why are you rushing me?
I don't know.
Warning. Engine.
I've installed the fire extinguishing system. Might as well use it. Fine.
Do I have any more questions about your MMO?
Fire. Extinguished. Air scrubbers initiated.
Do you have a name for it? Names are important. When it comes to selling your game or convincing people to play your game, the first thing that anybody will encounter about your game is its name. Adira Online. Does the name have any connection to the lore or anything? Beloso says names are important, like, yes, like Miss Sally or Napoleon Hammer. Something I found quite what's the right expression for it? Endearing about the southern states in America is calling everybody Miss. I've got an old Cajun friend. And when I say old, I mean she's 70, maybe 80 years old. A fascinating lady who I know as Miss Glow.
Seek fluid intake immediately.
I think the deer run online has a certain ring to it. Named after the king of the earth realm. Huh? Giles says, is it not Dr. Meir?
Engine powering down.
Dr. Meir and Professor Cell. Bill also says, what you doing, Meir?
Retrieving something.
Are you collecting some things?
I am. Firstly, this. I haven't collected this in a while. Secondly, this.
Ah.
Also, while I'm here, I should probably quickly try and find some salt or something to drop myself.
Yeah, and you
into.
get table coral around here. You just passed table coral.
Yeah, I know. Let me get the salt first. Priorities.
Cello Spirit says, yep, Miss is a thing down here. Plus all school kids call adults sir and miss too. Even friends of family adults.
Would you mind?
Yeah, I noticed that. And it's done in a, it's quite formal, but in a very endearing kind of way rather than a stuffy kind of way. It also says that metal salvage was placed funny. Mia's got 361 grams of salt.
Oh, lovely.
You were looking for salt,
Seek
remember?
fluid intake immediately.
Well done, Giles. Bill also called you a damn overachiever. Tato says, in a salty rage, Mia shivs the thing that tried to eat him. And Solo Spirit says, took me ages to get used to it. I'm normally way less formal. Yeah, I know. It's something where I notice if I've been in the southern states for a while that if I don't modify my language, I come across as being quite rude. And it's just because the language, the way people talk is different. So the races you can play is human, elf, dwarf, dragons, fairies, shadow dwellers, orcs and goblins. Oh, and Tammy says, just watch Dinner for One, I like it. Bell also comments on the metal salvage being half floating, some of it. Bell also says, where are you from again, Tammy? Wasn't it Texas? Was it Texas, Tammy?
Vital signs stabilizing.
Ah, raised in Oklahoma, I live in Texas. And Giles says, fairies, isn't that another way of calling someone gay? Only if you want to be really derogatory, and we don't. And I was just thinking, I mean, fairies are very common in Irish mythology, but I think it's spelled F-E-A in Irish mythology. And Solo Spirit says, I agree. The differences that trip you up are never the things you expect. Yeah, it's one of those things where, like, when you're... Because it's so different living or working abroad compared to just holidaying. Because you have to become so immersed in the local culture, and the relationships that you have with people are so much more in depth. And the impressions that you can give of people can be completely not what you intended just because of the culture you were brought up in. And because I did especially with work, I travelled and worked in so many different places. I picked up a habit of looking for what it was that took me by surprise about another culture, because I figured that I was having whatever the opposite effect was on them. But also says, Xeron, having just reminds me of dwarfs, I was reminded of Song of Durin. Have you heard of that? It's a song I'd recommend. Song of Durin, Mia? Is that something?
No, not consciously, not for me at the moment, I'm afraid.
The Fae, says Solo Spirits about the Irish little people. Giles says, I get that all the time going abroad, flying with work, yeah. Zero says, the Shadow Dwellers are the main villains, and I base them off Power Rangers villains. And if you're a dragon or a fairy, you can, and if you hit level 10, your character can fly.
Welcome aboard, Captain. All systems online.
So Spirit says it's true that travel gives you a much better perspective on things, even on your home culture. Yeah, especially on your own home culture, I'd say. When things that you take to be just normal, how everybody is, you suddenly realise are just quirky to the place where you were raised.
Ahead standard.
But also has links Song of Durin. Can I copy paste that so that it appears?
Just click on it, it'll open it without actually playing any sound.
Right, cool. And I can pause that for after the stream. Ooh, I am gonna kill this pronunciation, but Zeron says my favourite singer is Yao-sama Akeyuse Tekaku.
Warning, vessel tilting, excessive noise.
Giles says the worst one last year was being violently sick and bed bugs all in the same place. Oh dear. Where was that? Prague. I find it hard. I was just trying to think where I would say would be my worst experience or worst place, but that's really hard because the kinds of things that should be classified as worst experience are actually some of my best adventures. Like, I mean, or I got the best stories out of, came out of everything unscathed, therefore it was a good story. Like the kidnapping in Venezuela and the hijacking in being kidnapped perhaps. Yeah, but how many times in your life do you get to have like a James Bond worthy storyline that happens to you that you get out of completely unscathed? And Venezuela was an amazing place to live. Okay, yeah, I got kidnapped, but escaped. And in Colombia, when I was working out there, having to pass through the roadblocks, hiding under a tarpaulin in the trunk of, or the boot of a Jeep. It wasn't a Land Rover. I'm trying to remember what type of vehicle it was. Does anyone else make a noise when they stretch? Asks Potato. Zeron says, "Oh no." Did you know that in Spain it is rude to stretch in public? I once went to a christening. This is years ago with an ex-boyfriend. It was a relative of his had a christening, and I was used to travelling the world, and like 4-star hotel was the thing, and he booked us into this 2-star bed and breakfast, which was just so far below my standards. It's like I don't mind. I mean, I will sleep in a tent, go rough camping somewhere if that's the thing I'm doing. But if I'm staying in a hotel somewhere because I'm on some sort of visit to a town for family businesses, I want a nice hotel. Solar Spirit says, "Wow, way more impressive than any of my adventures. Best I can claim is a free day in Paris on American Airlines expense." Oh, nice. Giles says, "I've been held at gunpoint in a South American country before by the army for some strange reason I've forgotten." Yeah. Ex-boyfriend, do you mean mate? No. Bell also is being rude to Spanish people. There's somewhere in the world where I've been where it's impolite to sort of hold up the palm of your hand towards somebody. I can't remember where that was. It's like in the UK and lots of British-based places. It's rude to yawn without covering your mouth with your hand. And yet in Spain and a lot of Spanish place bases, it's rude to stretch unreservedly in public. Data says the worst thing to happen when at a hotel is the neighbours are lusty, loud sex addicts. Nah, I can usually deal with that. That's, Bell also says that, Potato, unless you're into that sort of thing.
Hotels usually nowadays design their rooms to be soundproof.
Gail says that's what you get for transporting cargo in aeroplanes. Indeed. Tater says, with all the adventures you've had, how do you just chill with the job you have? Well, I kind of accidentally ended up in the job that I had, that I've got now. And it's got its own fascination. And I ended up doing the job that I'm doing now because the job that I started doing where I'm working now was in civil contingencies, which was just fascinating. So it was doing things like so basically testing disaster plans. My role was to ensure that the transport systems of Greater Manchester, sort of all of the transport authorities and the local authorities and transport providers could work together to evacuate any of the cities or towns in the event of whether it's bonfires or floods or whatever. And so and things like evacuating train stations, and it used to so I go to these test exercises. It's amazing how much effort goes into the preparedness in the UK for
All systems online.
everything. And the number of exercises that I've been involved in to test things like train crashes or building collapses, terrorist events, obviously, and everything from even things like pipeline failures, because there's always numerous toxic pipelines running around the place that most people are not aware of. But because things like the chemicals that make plastics and stuff like that are safer to transport by pipeline than they are by truck. So there's an awful lot of pipelines, and you need to have a contingency plan for if you have a pipeline failure. And so we looked into a lot of that. And yeah, I used to find it fascinating. So I did that for a while, and then my job sort of morphed, and now I'm doing what I'm doing. And that's fascinating in its own way. Not in an exciting kind of way, but in a... because what I do now is focus on how businesses are run, but in the transportation sector. So it's all about governance and how boards are run. So I deal an awful lot with our board of directors and look at how they run their business. And yeah, it's really quite interesting, but hard to explain unless you're kind of into the mechanics of how business works. To catch you up on chat, Giles said, I had that in Barcelona, Potato, and but just missed it. The bed came through the roof with the naked couple on the bed. Oh dear. Solo Spirit said, I used to have a habit of pushing my glasses up onto my nose, as you do, except I tended to use my middle finger. No big deal in the UK. Yeah, absolutely, but I was informed that it could be rude here. And Zero says, Miss Sally, if you could rule a country, how would you rule your country? Well, I would... I think the thing I would have the hardest the hardest thing for me to deal with would always be to do with tolerating the intolerant. So economy-wise, I would go for minimum income for everybody. As opposed to a benefit system, because it tends to cost about the same amount and has more. Yeah, I think I would model my economy more on the Scandinavian line, so it would be higher taxation than the UK. But with a, but I would focus the social system very much on what would benefit the economy, so that you can support, so that the benefits and taxation support each other. I would be. I think it would be a liberal country, probably more modelled on the sort of Amsterdam model. It's, I think people are grown-ups, you don't need to tell them what they can and can't do.
It is normal when first piloting a prawn suit to feel a sense of limitless power.
Oh, what's that thing in the sky?
Receive weeks
A
of
prawn
training
suit.
To counteract this phenomenon.
Oh.
You will have to make do with self-discipline.
And Tammy says, Solo, do you just have the middle finger extended when you do? And Solo says, yep, it's really rude here.
Welcome aboard, Captain.
Tato says, how would I be a mod for Anubis? Ask Anubis.
Horrible, probably.
No, by how would I be? You think he means how would I become? Not.
Well, if he wants to become one, he should ask for that.
And so Spirit says it was a totally unconscious thing on my part. Yeah, it is really common here. Like when people push their glasses up their nose, you use your middle finger because it's the longest finger and means you're less likely to poke yourself in the eye. If Mir were running a country, the first thing he would do would be to create a sandwich-based economy. Yeah.
Made one sandwich economy-based joke, and then this is the only thing people can talk about.
Solar Spirit says, I broke myself out of the habit, thank goodness, but yes, I got many strange looks. Giles says, what, like his business in Terra Firmacraft? Yep. Babom, hello, Babom, says, the real question, Sally, is would video gaming be a human right? I think it would be a... well, I'm loath to require anybody to do anything, but I think it would be highly advised by the government.
On a side note,
yep.
we now have another vehicle, so people get ready to devise a silly name for it.
At Mir, I remember someone telling me that he doesn't need a prawn suit. That was
I remember.
Zeron says, good idea, Miss Sally. Mine would be a dictatorship where the military comes first and the people come last. Ralph says, oh, hello. Hello, Ralph. Tammy says, hey, Ralph. Babom says, at Potato, it's just the blue I associate with Anubis' chat. Oh, maybe I missed something in chat. And then Beloso says, hey, Dennis. Oh, is Dennis here? Again, might have missed a big chunk of chat. Potato said, Sal skipped my message about the bank heist. Very suspicious. I completely missed the thing about the bank heist. Ralph says, I've been enjoying Human Fall Flat and the new TF2 update. Ralph says, PMS prawn cocktail. Potato says, PMS don't eat me. Babom says, the prawn suit. Babom says, is Sal feeling okay? Why?
Yeah,
I
why
mean-
should she feel okay?
I mean, I did just... I got out of the bath like 5 minutes before Mia was due to start his stream, and I am dripping a little still. Belle also says, Mia, how's this for a name? Totally don't need this. Solo Spirit says, prawn to be wild. Oh boy. Potato said, what he said was, next you'll tell us that you're part of a bank heist while jumping around the world, is what I said. Don't think I've been involved in any major criminal activity, except ones that would attract attention at a government level. Ralph says, PMS, prawn of the dead. Giles says, so has Sal ever been arrested? Nope, never been caught. Ralph says, what other things rhyme with prawn? Bell also quotes me as saying, I'm dripping a little still. Too much information, Sal, TMI. My mum says, you read a message of mine, then read the next message before you realised I was here. Oh, I'll tell you what that was I was rushing through chat because I'd just been on a one of those random meandering thought trains and hadn't been reading chat, and it was scrolling past the screen, so I was reading through and I wasn't really looking to see who it was. Tammy says, call it dinner for one. But Mom says, PMS pawn suit. Giles says, drawn. Oh, these are words that rhyme with prawn. Potato points out that I've said never been caught. Giles says, fawn. Bell also says, PMS the prawninator.
The prawn.
Really fancy a prawn cocktail now. I am suddenly quite hungry. Lawn? The prawn fawn. Excuse me. PMS drawn pawn. And that's pawn like a chess piece.
Sure, of course.
PAWN.
Can you devise an amalgamation of all these names so I can use that?
Oh, I only heard part of that, mate.
Systems online.
Can you devise an amalgamation of all these names so I can use the name?
Me? I don't do names.
Yeah, I know that you don't do names, but you could at least use the names they've put together here for you and try and mash them together in an act of goodwill and faith.
Prawn dinner for one. And Zero says, when I get Space Engineers, I already have my lore I've been working on for factions. Oh, I'm so disappointed in Space Engineers at the moment. I can't believe how badly the multiplayer is running. I'm disappointed because it's a game I love so much and I haven't played it in ages, and it's just... multiplayer is just so badly unplayable. Giles says, prawn crackers. Ralph says, PMS, pink packet of crisps. Bell also says, at me, get the jump jets. Those are fun. Giles says,
yes, give
prawn
me a
cocktail.
moment.
Do you know, have we got any prawn cocktail crisps in me?
Are those the skips?
Yes.
Yes, we do have two packages of skips.
Prawn cocktail crisps coming up straight after screen.
Stream.
Screen.
Stream.
Stream.
Thank you.
Welcome aboard, Captain.
Ralph says, PMS, drawn, pawn, prawn, pawn, prawn. But Bomb says, just use the PMS, and then uses his entire keyboard, which I can't pronounce but begins with QWERTY.
No dinner for one doesn't fit.
How about just prawn for one?
No.
Well, you can use just the digit, the number. PMS skips. Bell also says, and Sal's evening is mate. Solo Spirit says, I think probably just needs to be the PMS porn prawn.
No.
And Zero says, you want to know more about my factions? Sure. Tammy says, PMS King Prawn. Potato says, you can eat on stream. I'm sure chat won't mind.
I mind.
Yeah, and I tell other people off. Minty's a bugger for it. Giles says, you probably have sauerkraut flavoured crisps. We had sauerkraut the other day. I really like sauerkraut. Solo Spirit says, prawn hammer. Very mischievous, I like it. Babom says, PMS prawn curry. We need PMS, points out Ralph. Spotted Cow says, hi, and a good moo. Good moo to you too. Sorry for getting here late. My car was stuck for 12 hours due to black ice. Oh, boy. 12 hours is a long time to have your car stuck anywhere. Late PMS, says Potato. Bell also says black ice? Yeah, is that not a common phrase in Germany, Mia? Or does it not translate well?
I'm at
Black
the moment
ice.
not entirely sure what that would be.
Ooh, that's bright.
Don't worry.
What
it'll
is
come
that
again.
frozen? Ah! A good move! Bad voice break again. Yeah, it was. But Mom says, I think Mira's good. Black ice is where, like, you get white ice and black ice. White ice you can see on the road because it's white and it's shiny, so you see it very clearly. Black ice is where the ice is completely clear. So all you see is the black of the road beneath it, and so you can't see that there's ice. That's black ice. At least that's what it is in the UK anyway. So black ice is the kind of thing that the weather forecast and the traffic forecasts will warn you about, say, watch out for black ice. But Mom says at least it wasn't yellow ice. Yeah. Ralph says black ice sounds like some batch of cocaine. Indeed. Zero says, what prawn and PMS? I don't understand. PMS was a thing that Ralph made up by parodying HMS. So HMS is the thing that all ships are prefixed with in the UK. Stands for Her Majesty's something. Giles might know what the S stands for, or somebody else might know what the S stands for. Her Majesty's Services, maybe? And PMS. What did PMS stand for? It was Potato, Mir and Sal.
There we go.
Yeah. Oh yeah, which someone's just put in chat. Tammy Patton says black ice is practically unseen until you drive upon it. Yeah, we came up with Potato, Mir and Sal because there'd been a couple of streams where I couldn't make it and Potato had been standing in for me, so we ended up with PMS. So PMS instead of HMS, and then the name of the ship afterwards. Giles says, do you mean glatt ice in Germany? Glass ice would be a very descriptive equivalent. It's just very dirty ice. No, it's actually very clean ice, Bob. Needs to be very pure and quite compressed. Yellow snow, you have to watch out for it too. Never eat it. True. I don't think we have a word for that here in Bear Country, but anyway, wouldn't it be visible, invisible ice? Yes, exactly that. But black ice is so invisible. It is like glass. and so slippery. It's the kind of thing where even if it's on a pavement and you're walking, so at slow speed and the pavement's perfectly visible in front of your feet, you still might not see it. Giles says, but isn't PMS a woman thing?
That is the joke.
Yeah. But it's also a potato salad me, I think. And Bomb says, all Navy ships are called Her Majesty's ship. Ah, Her Majesty's ship. Yep, lots of confirmation of Her Majesty's ship. Spotted Cow said, I was using the UK version, yes. I left my car after an hour and got a call. It was moved over to the nearby parking lot. Oh, it wasn't no damage, I hope. You didn't skid off or anything, did you? Oh, Xeron gets it now. Beloso says that Giles, glatt ice is smooth ice. Ralph says, tell me, enlighten us again, please. I missed what we were being enlightened about. May have zipped past on chat.
Oh, I need a long shopping list again.
Spotted Cow says rain freezes. So yeah, that's when you get black ice, when rain freezes on contact with an object or the ground. Xeron says, who has heard of a demon called Master Xandrid?
Can't say that I do know him personally, I'm afraid.
I don't think I have. I was just thinking, dredging the depths of my memory. I don't think I have. Mom says, I was in Devon over the Christmas and there was black ice at the top of the stairs outside the hotel. Ooh, dangerous. Ralph says what PMS is or whatever in woman terms. Tammy says, no, Ralph, it was too entertaining hearing Potato try to explain PMS to me. Bomb says post-menstrual syndrome. I'm not sure whether it stands for post or pre, actually. Or whether it's both. And Bomb says that was hilarious. This was a stream I missed. Now I did watch... I don't think I watched that stream. Was it... It must have been a stream that I missed. Oh, it was probably when I did my back in, wasn't it?
It was.
Yeah.
But as
so
far as I know,
I
you were
watched,
watching it
yeah,
later on.
But I have limited memory of those days. And Giles says...
Because she's been drugging herself up to no end.
I was trying to use my limited German to think of an alternative to black ice or similar to black ice. Yeah. And glass ice sounds like another way you might describe black ice. Like very smooth and completely invisible. Giles says, at Ralph, it's when Aunt Irma visits. Oh, what's that a reference to?
To Aunt Irma visiting?
Yeah. Where's that from?
From Aunt Irma?
No, there's a woman being on her period, referring it to it as when Aunt Irma visits. Or actually, it might have been a man referring to it as when Aunt Irma visits. It's a reference. I can't remember what the reference is. Spotted Cow says, I was not able to go up the hill, just spun out, and since I was not injured or stood in the way of other road users, I became the last priority. Oh, well, at least I'm glad that there was no injury or hopefully no damage to your car as well. Tammy says it's premenstrual syndrome, and yes, Sal, you weren't here. Potato says, so Sal, what are your plans and or goals for 2018?
12,018.
12,018. To have at least as much fun as I did in 2017.
12,017.
12,017. Zero says, the only thing I'm having trouble with is describing my MMORPG setting. Oh, well, feel free to tell us in chat. Might be able to help you get your description together.
I think we should work on an elevator pitch. I know I'm probably annoying him at this point with this, but it would really help, I believe.
How far on is she, Game Zero? Spotted Cow says, all is okay, the rust is on the same spots. Which reminds me...
So you've got a spotted car too?
When I was a student...
It was world-class comedy and you just skip
and I
over
was
it.
running around in old bangers of a car. For my degree, because I did mechanical engineering for a degree, and for my dissertation, I wrote a dissertation on the study of the technology used in drag racing, and because it was a sport where there was it was all done by citizen science, citizen development in the UK at least, or in Europe. There wasn't much development by big business. So there was a lot of technologies being developed and not recorded anywhere. So anyway, I got into drag racing, and I actually got to live at the racetrack for 3 months free of charge, which was nice. But I got myself... Oh, Mia, your health's really low. You've got a health pack on you, haven't you?
Of course not.
What did you do with the health pack you had?
Store it in the ship.
Why? Well, you
I
used to sit
need
there.
it. So I've got the 3 crystalline sulfur now. I need a ton of nickel.
And so they did a form of amateur racing at the racetrack where you could just race whatever car it was you brought along. And I had this like really beat up old MG that I was driving around in, that because I used to be a car mechanic, so I could buy battered old cars and do them up and keep them on the road a little longer. So I had this old MGB, and I used to take it racing, and all my little cousins were fascinated by the fact that I'm the oldest of all my cousins, and they were all fascinated by the fact that, you know, the eldest of their cousins was a race car driver, and they used to look at my car and point at the rust on the car and say, "Is that accident damage?" I was like, "Yeah, that's from the racing." And they'd ask me if I won, and I hardly ever won. That's a whole other story. But I used to tell them I used to come second an awful lot. They didn't know that there was only 2 cars involved in a drag race. My mum says, "But Mia, your last stream says it was over 10,000 years ago." Beloso says that, "Mia, I heard your joke and chuckled at it." Spotted Cow's car has more rust than good metal. My mum says, "How are you getting the game made, Zeron? Are you outsourcing or learning to code?" And Zeron says, "I honestly forgot what an elevator means." So elevator is the lift shaft. So that's the thing that you step into. And I'm assuming that English isn't your first language with that quote. Or do you mean what an elevator pitch is? Because the elevator pitch is where, like, if you're traveling in an elevator from one floor to another, you get something like 45 seconds. And if you can describe an idea in a way which is engaging in that kind of time scale, then that is about as much time as you would normally have to make a first impression on someone with a description. Giles Price says, "It was not an IT crowd thing." Was it not an IT crowd? Was it IT crowd? Aunt Irma.
No, Aunt Irma sounds like it should be older. I mean, sure, they
might have
mention it in the
been
IT crowd. I'm actually quite certain I do remember the episode where they do mention it, but it's most definitely not the origin.
I think it's only the IT crowd where I've ever heard that reference, but I couldn't remember whether or not it was. How about calling the prawn suit the PMS 12018 in honour of it being the first ship of the year? And Zeron says, all I know, for example, is that the Shadow Dweller realm is dark place that is, and then I think it chopped off the rest of your chat. Potato says, with all the things you talk about to question your age, like how many babies do you consume to keep your youth? And Ralph says, yeah, because crashing gets your car rusty. They were little kids. They didn't know any better. But Mom said, what's the best ship in this? I can't decide whether to support PMS Dreadnought or Enterprise. But Mom says, an elevator is a vertical train, according to Mia.
Ah, finally a man of culture here. Where did I leave all the nickel around here?
IT Crowd says, well, also.
Was that a question?
Giles says IT Crowd. Zero says, I understand.
Are we having a poll?
No, it's just everyone responding to what the reference was. Bob says, it exposes the metal to oxygen. What exposes the metal to oxygen? Rust. It exposes the metal to oxygen. Exposing metal to oxygen gives rust. That might have been a reference to do with crashing. Oh, crashing gets your car rusty. Yeah, because it exposes the metal to oxygen. Do you know, I might even have used that excuse. Spotted Cow says, in Norway they use salt on the roads and a 5-year-old car has to go in for rust repairs. Yeah, we use salt on the road here as well, but I imagine nowhere near as much as in Norway. It's quite noticeable here when you get cars that have spent most of their life near the sea. Or near the coast, because we get salt fog quite a lot near the coastline, which is really awful for any exposed metal. This is going back to my pylon days now. But Mom says, did someone nick the nickel? Very nice. Solar Spirit says, Babom, I think Enterprise would have suited the Cyclops. I think this one is more of a Gundam prawn. Babom says, the salt in the air is a problem for the paint on buildings down here. Oh yeah, of course, because you're on the coast, aren't you? You're on the south coast. Do you get salt fog down there? I mean, salt fog isn't something that is usually talked about in weather forecasts. It's usually something only discussed in engineering sectors. And I don't know whether it's common to all coastlines or only common to coastlines with a certain temperature or wind direction or something like that. I know the west coast suffers a lot from salt fog. There's a lot of places in the world suffer from salt fog. Bell also says, Atmir, don't you die now, or else the sea will get its nickel back and you will lose yours. Mom says, we get a lot of onshore wind, but I'm not sure about salt fog. Yeah, you get salt fog when... Ooh. It looks like normal fog, but it blows in from the sea. Or it forms while there is a wind blowing in from the sea, but it needs quite a gentle wind to form salt fog, otherwise it just blows the fog away. Oh, freezing fog's a thing as well. Freezing fog's quite fascinating from an engineering perspective. The way it forms sort of aerofoils around structures. Get a lot of freezing fog in Scandinavia. And Zero says the weapons you use is scythes, swords, daggers, staffs, rods, wands, and other weapons as well.
2?
What? Oh, you got 2
2.
squids.
And of course, one of them just went out of render distance. I kind of... What's this? Why am I being red?
Why are you red?
Oh, I might have parked over a volcano.
Ah. Spotted Cow says, I don't think we have salt fog here, but storm winds take the salt water far inland. One can't type stay.
3?
He did try to say, God, I can't type shit today, but he misspelled it. And then when I was saying, God damn it. To which Bell also said, Bomb didn't. Don't you mean dog damn it? Why am I melting? Oh, volcano underneath me. Whoops. Says Balorsa. And Mir, it is 21:56.
Already?
Yeah. Giles Price says, spent 2 years in Canada with this job and had to buy a car. Bought myself a Ford Pinto because it was cheap. Potato says, stream, hurry up and end. I really have to pee.
You could have gone while we were all moseying around here.
Spotted Cow suggests, hey damn it, as opposed to dog damn it. Tammy says, TMI, potato.
Near blueprint acquired.
I know as soon as stream's over, the first thing I'm going to do is go and have a bag of prawn cocktail crisps. Prawn cocktail crisps.
Well, congratulations, you.
Giles says, aren't they an ugly car? The Cow of Spots might know. What's that? The Pinto? Spotted Cow says, 30-minute longer stream today, Sal. Well, yeah, I mean, we might just have to carry on till Mia's finished doing the thing he's doing at the moment.
Data.
Sure.
Babam says, that potato, just take the toilet to the computer. Zero says, Miss Sally, what do you think of the military goose step? I've always found it rather amusing. I understand why the military make their soldiers walk in strange and unusual fashions. But wonder if they've really thought about it. I think there's maybe a bit more tradition and a bit less science involved in things like the military goose step. So Holy Spirit says, I think this is the extended Wednesday stream. Yeah! Giles said, yep, the Ford Pinto. And Bell also says, at Sal, no overtime without overtime tickles. Not overtime yet. And besides, Mia was late. How many minutes late were you, Mia?
I'll get back to you about that in a moment.
Okay, why are you dying?
Yes, I am.
Okay.
Where did the door go?
We're only doing this to tease Potato, you know. It is 21:59.
I have to finish my shopping list so people can't complain next time that I'm not doing story things.
Spotted Cow says, don't have a Ford Pinto as a cheap car here.
30 seconds.
Welcome aboard, Captain.
But Mom says, the thing I love about squadron formations are that they are to limit casualties, not prevent them. Spotted Cow says, or I don't think we have the Ford Pinto at all. Giles Price says it's vintage though, but according to Google, it's on every ugly list. Mom says, now we need to find a waterfall. Oh. And Zeron says, I find it intimidating as flippity flip me.
Well done.
Thank you. Giles says, and tease Potato, go for it. Bella also says, at me, do you know if they put in the ending for the game yet? I think Mia's a bit focused at the moment, so he's only got 15 seconds of air left.
Oxygen.
9, 6, 3, 0. Wow.
Thank you.
Spotted Cow says, ugly car? Fiat Multipla. I totally agree. Well, I don't know if it's just too weird to even be considered ugly. It's just freakish. And Tammy says, don't go chasing waterfalls. Please stick to the rivers and lakes that you're used to. Giles says, drip, drip, drip. Also, Mira's in lots of water. Poor Potato. Have we finished teasing Potato now?
I don't know. I wasn't paying attention.
So basically it is 10:02.
Good.
I'm sure there is a coffee machine there too. Park Cruiser. There's Giles. The bomb was so ready for a Rowstone M, and it was going to be, I can see the light. And Zeron's got a riddle for me.
Well, what's the riddle?
That PT Cruiser? Is it PT or? What's or part? What am I missing here? The PT Cruiser. What's the PT bit?
I don't know. I'm not paying attention. I'm shopping.
Looks better than the Fiat. Oh, and Charlie says, has to leave. Have a great time. Bye, Charlie.
Cheerios.
Potato says, I can hold it, but it's really tempting me to draw Mia in short shorts.
How
a
about
Chevy.
we'll just have a minute of
Oh, okay.
silence for Potato so he can leave. Starting now. Sal, be silent. Sal, I wasn't very silent of
I
you.
can't stay silent that long.
Why not?
What are you looking for me? What's on your shopping list?
Lithium.
How much do you need?
1.
Ah. What colour lumps are they in?
I'm not sure, I'm starting to doubt it's these ones. Though I am getting a decent amount of silver out of them
Is
so far.
lithium the stuff that you start off with? At the beginning, you get lots of at
No,
the
that's
beginning.
titanium.
Oh, yeah. Is lithium the stuff that you find deep down in the hole?
Technically speaking, lithium is the stuff that's all over the island around the energy port's origin.
Oh, I know the vehicle you mean.
What? Lithium isn't a vehicle?
No, the PT Cruiser. If Teresa's daughter is my daughter's mother, what am I to Teresa? Okay, so if Teresa's... This is where I need pen and paper because it's like trying to do maths in my head. So, Teresa's daughter... So we'll say Teresa's daughter is called Lisa. So if Lisa is my daughter's mother, well, then what am I to Teresa? Well, then Teresa is me. Yeah, one of my friends in the States has got one of those, the Chevy PT Cruisers. And it's definitely an unusual car. I think they modelled it on the old hot rods. Nothing beats a Fiat Multipla in ugliness, though, says Belosa. Definitely in weirdness. I mean, they are such a bizarre-looking vehicle. Spot a Cow says, a good-looking car, 2CV. Oh, but Mom says that Zero depends what gender you are. Very true. My daughter's mother. So, yes, so either me or my wife. Porsche Panamera? Can't remember what that looks like, Giles. Reliant Roving, yeah. Bond Bug and the Edsel. A multicoloured Fiat Multipla appears on the screen. And they're not small cars either. They are... yeah. Reasonably sized. They're like a very small SUV type thing. They're meant to hold lots of people. The Robin and the Bomb Bug have style though, quirky but sassy. I've never driven a car with 3 wheels. I've driven so many, must be hundreds or thousands of different types of cars, but never driven one with 3 wheels. Well, I have driven one with 3 wheels, but it was supposed to have 4. The DeLorean is awesome. Hold it, potato, think of running water, it helps.
Well, we've reached the cat, I'm done.
Right, well, yes, I think Should we call stream to an end there? Oh, I'm going to get some cocktails, prawn cocktail skips. Prawn cocktail skips.
Feel free to do your thing. I'm
Right,
sleeping
so
now.
so thanks for joining us. And if you enjoyed watching me play Subnautica while I ramble on about random nothingness, join us again next Wednesday at 8 p.m. Greenwich Mean Time. Or if you want to watch me making a fool of myself in Skyrim tomorrow, I'll be playing Skyrim at 8 p.m. GMT. Or if you want to watch Potato will be playing, will be streaming at...
Deus Ex Mankind.
Yeah, no, but I never remember how to pronounce it.
Defined. One of these starts with D.
8 p.m. GMT on Saturday.
On Twitch.
On Twitch, that's right.
And this is the point where Potato links his Twitch channel because he's not in the bathroom, something.
So thanks for watching, everybody, and we'll see you tomorrow, at the weekend, or next week. And that is me yawning, not the fire alarm going off. So don't worry, people.
The stream. I can't hold it for that long.
Bye.